Okay, so I have a bit of a confession to make, and this is a bit awkward since this is the first video of the series, but this part of the video is actually post-commentary. However, we will be going back to live commentary later on in the video. You see, I had a certain mishap of the feline variety, but this is still the Mississippi King, welcoming y'all to a new playthrough. Let's play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild blind. Yep, that's right. Now, of course, since this part is post-commentary, it's not exactly blind, but trust me, for most of the episodes, this isn't going to be recurring. And I'll also be, reenacting my reactions to certain things that I find in this episode. I'll do my best. I was quite surprised to learn right here that this game actually features voice acting. Kind of a first for the series. I am indeed back. Right now we're in what I soon learned to be called the Shrine of Resurrection. Of course, I'm going to, try and do my best to approximate my reactions to certain things. Also, this game is pretty different from the previous games, so, there's a lot to get to grips with. A lot of stuff that I'm not very familiar with. It's quite a new experience, and I'm excited to get around to it. So I'm of course back, and I've awoken from my 100-year slumber, much like Link himself. Okay. That's going to become a little more relevant later, but for now, we're up and about. In case y'all are wondering why I am recording this post-commentary, it's actually after finishing the LP in its entirety, finishing recording it. So, I want to, get a grips to, how the controls work right here, and also another thing that I'll be talking about later, but, it's not really relevant right now, but, there are some problems that I ran into when I first recorded this episode, but, yeah, these, I can tell, are the controls. So let's analyze this and see what it is.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
So, this is a Sheikah slate, apparently. It's, really important to this game. And, I'll soon enough learn about all of the neat functions that it can do. It's actually, a pretty neat device. It's, gonna come in handy quite a bit. So early on, I have a bit of a tendency to, underestimate its functionality. It's definitely going to, be very useful, however. That's for sure. This is the menu. It's going to expand quite a bit in the future, but right here, we've got some chests, and inside them are some well-worn trousers. That's interesting. This game has different armors? That's quite unique. That's different from previous Zelda games. You actually equip different armors, and this isn't a tunic or anything like that. It's actually kind of interesting. We'll learn more about that in the future, though. So it's time to open this door and see what's outside.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal. That will show you the way.
The Sheikah slate is crucial to interfacing with most devices in this game. Well, Sheikah devices, which is a lot. The Sheikah apparently play a much bigger role in this game. So right here, the door's opening. It's going to be quite the journey, I must admit. This is a huge project with 177 videos in total.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
Now that's including the DLC, however, and the extra videos, and the DLC will be listed as a semi-separate playthrough, the numbering will start back from 1, but for now, we're taking our first steps into the wider world of the Great Plateau. I almost thought it was big enough to be its own game when I first got around to, exploring it, but, no, actually, it's just a drop in the bucket, really. Look at that stunning view, and take in the breath of the wild. That's it. A lot of the stuff in the background, you can actually travel there. It ain't just for show. It's actual locations that you can visit on the map. Pretty much as a general rule, anything you can see you can go to. That old man, of course, is important. And what's this on the ground? A tree branch? That's interesting. You get to, use a tree branch as a weapon, so there are multiple weapons in this game, too. That's actually kind of interesting. So you can perform a spin attack, I see. It's good to know that that's all in check, that that's accounted for. As for the thing that I was going to talk about, however, that's a Hylian shroom, by the way. That's also kind of interesting that there are different materials to gather. But the thing I was going to talk about is that, well, I kind of ran into a bit of a problem. The original footage for this episode is somewhat garbled. I'll probably, put that up on screen as a bit of a compromise, but, for some reason it ended up, really distorted and messed up, and it looks kind of ugly, so, I recorded, alternate parts for, part 1 through 3. Now, don't worry, that's not going to be a recurring thing. That's just for, the first 3 parts, and that's a pretty small drop in the bucket, and for, almost the entirety of the series, the commentary won't be post-commentary like it is now. Indeed, later on in this video, we'll be going back to live commentary. I will let y'all know when that occurs, so don't worry. I beg your pardon, I do believe that is my baked apple. Oh ho ho, forgive me, I could not resist pulling your leg. Please help yourself. It is a bit strange to see another soul in these parts. Me? I'll spare you my life's story. I'm just an old fool who has lived here a long time. Answering a question with a question, that is fair enough. As I can't imagine our meeting to be a simple coincidence, I will tell you. Okay, so, yep, we're introduced to the game here, and he points us, or rather, that points to the Temple of Time. Indeed. So, it's been in decay for apparently a long time, so it's actually kind of interesting. The Temple of Time is just, right there. Honestly, I kind of wish the game had more instances of stuff like that, of like old familiar locations that are in ruins, but I don't really mind it all that much. Still, that is kind of interesting. Right here, you can get some stuff. I also got a woodcutter's axe. So it seems that there are multiple weapons in this game. That's interesting. That's good to know. So you eat food to replenish hearts? That's interesting. I think something like that was included in a previous Zelda game.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Who is this voice, by the way? That's something that I'm wondering about, like, who's telling me this? And I see here that this is how the map actually works. That's interesting. It actually provides, like, a location that I'm supposed to go to. Well, that may be important, but for now, like, I don't actually want to go there just yet. I instead just want to, like, explore some stuff. And in particular, I'm very curious about the Temple of Time. That is one of the things that I did know about this game, like, going into it from, like, the demo. They showcased this part and, like, part of the Great Plateau, so, like, I am aware of that. But I'm very curious about this place, so that's why I'm exploring it to see what I can find. Oh, this is the first enemy I see. And weapons actually break? Oh, that's actually interesting. That's not something I'm used to. It's not actually a first, though. That's kind of interesting, though, that, like, they brought that back from, like, Majora's Mask, because, like, weapons could actually break in, well, one particular weapon could break in that game. Also, that enemy dropped a bokoblin horn, not like a rupee or anything like that. That's curious. That, has me a little concerned. Oh, arrows. They're giving me arrows from this plot. Well, that's interesting. What's in this chest? A bow? This early on in the game? Wow, I was not expecting to get a bow this early in the game. Like, I thought it would be like some sort of dungeon item or whatever. That did catch me off guard, that's for sure. So that's neat. I actually like that, though. The bow has been, like, one of my favorite items in this series, and it's pretty cool that we're getting it right off the bat. That's interesting, the weapons break. That was sort of included in Majora's Mask. One weapon could break, and shields could break in Skyward Sword. I imagine shields can break too, if that's the case. They're bringing back that concept from a Skyward Sword. However, like in Skyward Sword, you could repair them. I wonder if they've included anything like that in this game. I don't know. Maybe I can. Maybe that's what some of the materials are for. I get to, like, build stuff with it. You can throw weapons, too. That's interesting. But I have to wonder what these numbers are about. Like, the stats on my armor, does that, like, reduce your damage or something? And as for, like, the numbers for the weapons, like, what's that all about? I mean, I'm guessing it's, like, an attack stat of sorts? I'm not sure. By the way, let's try and look around some more and see what our search will turn up. I'm curious to explore this place and see what it has to offer. Like, I do want to, like, look for some treasures and see if I can find any interesting items, like, maybe I can find a boomerang or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about, like, weapons breaking, but it does seem like they're giving me a decent amount of weapons, so it may not matter all that much. Of course, I have to wonder, when are the enemies going to drop arrows? I mean, I know I can get arrows from pots, that's how I got my first arrows in this game. But what about, like, from enemies? When are they going to start dropping them? And also, on that note, when are they going to give me bombs? If they gave me arrows this early on in the game, I have to imagine that bombs aren't too far off. In recent Zelda games, they've been, like, saving the bow and arrow for, like, one of the later dungeons, but here not so much, and indeed it seems that you can collect arrows lying on the ground from enemies, just like in Twilight Princess. That's good to know. It should be easy to take these guys out. I wonder what they'll give me. Maybe arrows? And oh, you can collect multiple bows? Oh, that's interesting. That's unusual. Like, does that mean that, like, bows break too? I wasn't expecting that. That's quite unexpected. Like, who would have thought that, like, they'd give you multiple bows? Like, that was kind of a thing in Skyward Sword, but you had to upgrade the bow in that game. Not, like, collect new bows. I'm guessing that means that bows break too. Finally, I've got my first shield. That's interesting. I mean, like, clearly this wouldn't be like a regular first shield. Like, I imagine it would be a little more formal than that. It would look a little fancier if this were another Zelda game. But I can see that there's an enemy camp, and, like, that they can contain various supplies. It's interesting to know. Also, I guess my question's been answered. Enemies can, in fact, drop arrows. It's good to know they kept that intact from previous games. It's nice to have a steady supply of arrows. And I'm looking forward to making use of arrows, because, like, they give you the bow this early on. I'm gonna take advantage of that, if you don't mind. Okay, folks. Apparently throwing your weapon when it's about to break will break it. I mean, that sounds kind of obvious, but I mean, this is kind of a first for Zelda games. Like, you don't really get to the choice to throw weapons in other Zelda games. Like, that's new. Besides the boomerang, but, like, that's like, not really the same thing. And it always returns to you. But, let's head to this enemy camp and see what we can get. Oh! These are some interesting enemies. And it seems that they can inform you of their position. Oh! Well, that was an unexpected jump in difficulty. Like, that was a low-level enemy, and, like, that guy killed me this soon? Looks like this game is going to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. I could be in for quite the ride. That guy one-shotted me, and this is the first episode. Anyway, Now it's time to go to the live commentary section of the video. Okay, I'm back. So sorry about that. I think some of the commentary may be lost for the rest of this, episode. And, for that, I guess that means I'll have to, like, cover it, in, like, post. But, suffice it to say, let's, hope that doesn't happen again. Oh, okay, so I guess bows do break. You see, I was wondering earlier whether bows can break, and, so it looks like they can. Either that or, like, it's just, like, any other game where it's like you just grab certain things. Ah, a shield. I was wondering when that was going to turn up. So, now that it's here, so let's see what's going on up here, shall we? And then maybe I'll close off the episode. What? Okay. Okay, this is what I was supposed to do. Okay, duly noted. This isn't going to awaken something, is it? Because if it does, then that's... Oh, a Sheikah Tower. Is this like them Ubisoft towers where it's like they just sort of show things up and they like reveal part of the map or something like that? Cause like that could be. Oh, okay, so is this an actual threat? Okay. Oh. So I guess I'll be running into these later. Huh. And, I don't know what that did, but, like, I have my guesses, having played, some games that involve stuff like that. Okay. Distilling local information. So I guess that means it is what I thought it was. Something that, like, reveals stuff on the map and whatnot. Okay. Okay. So is this the whole overworld or something? Because I've heard the overworld was pretty big, but I don't really know what to expect. Huh.
This
100 years? Oh. Oh, it's...
You have been asleep.
I guess the beast is Ganon. Oh.
The beast.
Oh, that doesn't sound too good. Yeah, this looks like it's fairly dire.
Now then.
Huh.
You must hurry.
Okay. Main quest. Huh.
Before it's too
So is
late.
this more like other open world games? And how do I get down from here? Cause I take it, I get the feeling fall damage is a thing. Oh. Right here. Huh. Well, that may make these towers a lot less tedious if instead I'm climbing down from them instead of up. That's gonna... Huh? Oh, it's the old man again. Okay. Oh. And what could that power be? I heard a voice. Not really. I mean, this is the first time the series has seen voice acting, not counting the infamous CDI games. Calamity Ganon. Ah, so I was right. He's the villain of this story. I suspect... Actually, that may not really make much sense in the post-commentary part of the episode, cause, like, I didn't really explain that. But, like, I thought earlier in the episode that Ganon would be the villain of this game. And so, I guess it turns out I was right. Huh. Yes. Oh. Okay, so full damage is a thing. I figured as much. A paraglider? Is this like the leaf in the Wind Waker? So that sounds pretty cool. Huh. Okay. What treasure? Okay, that's good to know. Huh. Am I supposed to follow him? Or talk to him? Okay. Huh. So I guess I just head in there. Is that a dungeon? Ah. I think that's a dungeon. Because, if not, then maybe it's a mini dungeon? Who knows? Like, this game is known for, like, changing things up and, like, revamping the formula or, like, whatnot. So, like, who knows what dungeons are like in this game. That's kind of why I'm tackling it blind. Because, actually, you know what? I'll talk more about that in the next episode, but for now, this is the Mississippi King signing off. And in the next episode, we'll tackle the shrine and see what's inside for us so we can get the paraglider. Hopefully all in the next video, but see y'all then.